Welcome to the John and Heidi Show podcast, brought to you by DirecTV, WinThisOnline.com, and Dollar Shave Club. Here's John and Heidi.
It is a Tuesday, and we appreciate you joining us on the John and Heidi Show. Would you like to stop a bank robber?
Sure.
Well, if you don't have any other way to stop him, maybe you try to pin him to the ground with a wrestling move. Listen to this. A former high school wrestling champ pinned a young robber to the ground and told the robber that he would dislocate his shoulder if he tried to escape.
Nice.
The robber, a teenager, snatched a cash bag from a Toronto woman when he bumped into this wrestling hero, Reg Toes. Reg pinned the robber and waited for the police to arrive to arrest the 19-year-old suspect.
Nice.
Yeah, so you better watch out. You never know. Somebody around you might be a wrestler. You know, it's one thing to pin him to the ground. I'd like to see some WWF moves.
Absolutely.
I pity the fool. Wait, no, that was, what was that guy's name? Mr. T.
Oh,
He wasn't a wrestler.
He was not a wrestler.
Come here, brother. I was trying to do a little Hulkamania here, but I'm still sleeping, apparently. Anyway, if you would like to know more about that story, I'm sure it's online. That's kind of a funny story. So that happened where? Where did you hear what I said? Oh, Toronto. So, yeah, don't rob places in Toronto or anywhere else, but especially not in Toronto. Get some fun stuff on the program today. Stick around for all of that, and we appreciate you joining us on a Tuesday.
This segment of the program is brought to you by RVWheelator.com. If you want to buy an RV, check it out. And if you want to sell an RV, check it out. Helping connect buyers and sellers at RVWheelator.com.
You're listening to the John and Heidi Show podcast.
Do you remember the day you were born?
Vaguely.
Vaguely, yeah. I don't remember the day I was born, and I hope this child doesn't remember the day that they were born either. This young boy was born and welcomed to the world at gunpoint by police. It was a crazy case of miscommunication by Kettering, Ohio police and a woman who gave birth while in her car. It started when Debbie Coleman was driving and began to give birth. She pulled over at a gas station and delivered the baby herself and then took off towards the hospital. A gas station attendant alerted police, who got the woman confused with another report of a stolen van. Police pulled Coleman over and ordered her out of the car with guns pointed at her until they realized their mistake. Then they helped her to the hospital. So they thought she stole a van. She's like, no, I just had this baby. Excuse me, ma'am, that child's not in a baby seat. Going to have to give you a violation.
Wow.
So that would be so weird, wouldn't it?
That would be awful for the mother. Holy
for
cow,
everybody involved.
Jeez.
Well, it sounds like at the end of the day, they all had a good laugh.
Oh, yeah, I'm sure. I'm sure the mom was laughing.
Well, they thought it was a stolen van. It's not what they got it mixed up. So
Yeah.
I understand that. We all make mistakes. Well, not here, of course, but other people in other places. You know, Mother's Day is sneaking right up.
It is.
In a moment, we're going to talk about 2015's best and worst states for working moms. That is on the way.
This portion of the program is brought to you by WinThisOnline.com. If you have stuff you'd like to give away, do it for free. Check out the website WinThisOnline.com. It's also free to win stuff. Register today for your free account at WinThisOnline.com.
You're listening to the John and Heidi Show podcast.
You're a mother, aren't you?
I am.
And you work, don't you?
I do.
What do you do again? Just kidding.
I work at a radio station.
I'm just teasing. You do a lot of stuff. But with Mother's Day less than a week away and women making up about half of the American labor force, in some states it's even more than half, I have for you the best states for working moms and the worst states for working moms. Where would you like to start?
I don't care. Let's start with the best.
Save the best for last? No, not Heidi. Do the best first. All right, number 10 on the list of best states, Ohio. 9 is Virginia. 8 is Maine. 7 is our neighbor to the north, North Dakota. 6 is Washington. 5 is Massachusetts. 4, New Hampshire. 3, Wisconsin. Number 2, best state for working moms, Minnesota. And the number 1 state for working moms, what would you guess?
I have no idea.
You got to guess. You got a
South Dakota.
Wrong. Say you had a 1 in 50 chance. It's Vermont.
Huh.
So it's a good place
And
to
why?
live.
Why is it the
There's a
best?
variety of reasons.
Okay.
Mainly the pine trees. No, I have no idea. Okay. I have no clue. There's a whole list of things that they base this on. We'll read some statistics in a moment. How about the worst states for working moms? Number 42 is Oklahoma, 43 North Carolina, 44 West Virginia, 45, Georgia, then Arkansas, then Nevada, then Alabama, then Mississippi, then South Carolina, and finally the very worst state for working moms. I'm going to let you guess again. What do you think is the worst state?
New York.
No, they didn't make the list. They're somewhere hidden in the middle. Louisiana is the worst state.
Really?
Yeah.
I wouldn't have guessed that.
Worst
one.
state. Daycare quality is 5 times better in New York than it is in Idaho. So they've got better daycares in New York. I think it's because of the regulations. They have regulations. They have tougher regulations on a hot dog cart there than some states have on a whole business. So it's very regulated. Childcare costs, now this says adjusted for median women's salary, are twice as high in the District of Columbia than they are in Tennessee. So it's a little more expensive there. Pediatric services are 12 times more accessible in Vermont than they are in New Mexico. So pediatric services would be one of the things. The ratio of female to male executives is 3 times higher in Alabama than it is in Utah. The percentage of single mom families in poverty is twice as high in Mississippi as it is in Alaska. The median women's salary adjusted for cost of living is twice as high in Virginia than it is in Hawaii. And the final thing on the list, the female unemployment rate is 4 times higher in Nevada than it is in North Dakota.
Well, there you go.
In North Dakota, they're looking for people.
Well, I know. They're always looking for people.
They sent me a story a while back saying they had 25,000 jobs open.
Whoa.
Like, wow, that's a lot of...
And only 14 people live there. Those are pretty good odds. If you're unemployed there, that's your own fault.
So what do? I don't do anything. I just can't find a job. There's jobs everywhere. What are you talking about? All right. Thanks for listening on a Tuesday. You know what we have coming up in a little while?
What's that?
Tuesdays with Charlie.
Yes, we do. Oh, that's right. It's Tuesday.
Yeah, we'll be doing that here before you know it. That is coming up. Thank you so much for listening to the John and Heidi Show on a Tuesday.
This portion of the program brought to you by DirecTV. Sign up today at 1-800-259-7646. That's 1-800-259-7646.
You're listening to the John and Heidi Show podcast.
I've heard of them. They're famous. That's right, Mike. They are.
In a Polish town, a man was walking down the street and he was injured but alive after being hit by a falling St. Bernard. It's happened to us all, hasn't it? The St. Bernard had been apparently thrown out of a 2-story window above the man. Police believe...
Who would throw?
I don't know. Police believe the 110-pound dog was pushed out of a window by its drunken owner.
Oh, my gosh.
Actually, the dog escaped with very few scratches because he had a relatively soft landing since he landed on a man, after all. The police spokesperson said the man was more in a psychological state of shock than physically hurt.
I hope the dog owner was arrested.
I hope so, too. The 1-year-old dog, we'll find out in a second, I'll bet. The 1-year-old dog named Oscar was placed in an animal shelter while police investigate its owner for animal abuse.
Absolutely.
So, yeah, you don't do that. You don't throw dogs out the window.
No.
Why would you do that?
No.
Hey, I got a strange...
It's wrong, but
just
it's
the
funny.
image that you're seeing some dude walking down the street and a dog landing on a big 110-pound dog. It'd be a different story if it was a poodle. He could have caught the poodle.
That's a big dog.
I know, 110 pounds.
Holy
I don't think
cow.
our dogs don't weigh 10 pounds together,
I think
do
that's
they?
about what our son weighs, and he's 18.
Hey, I got a strange law, speaking of dogs. Oklahoma, in the state of Oklahoma, there's a law that declares dogs must have a permit signed by the mayor in order to congregate in groups of 3 or more on private property.
What?
Yeah, so the mayor of the town in Oklahoma, if your dog wants to hang out with his friend more than 3, they need a petition from the mayor, a permit from the mayor signed for them to do
That's
so.
the most ridiculous thing I've ever heard.
Well, that's why it's a ridiculous law. All right, your scoop of the day is on the way.
This portion of the program is brought to you by We Need Sponsors.
Hey, wait a minute. All right, I'll let you finish.
If my husband would go out and sell some advertising, I would have something to read here. Again, this portion of the program is brought to you by We Need Some Freaking Sponsors.
You're listening to the John and Heidi Show podcast.
And it's time right now for the scoop of the day. Australian medical researchers say that a popular insomnia drug has been shown to help people gain weight. Or not necessarily help gain weight, but that's one of the side effects. You gain weight. Do you know why?
Why?
Because it encourages sleepwalking to the kitchen and eating while you're sleeping.
Really?
Yeah,
Which one?
it's an insomnia drug.
Does it say the name?
It doesn't say the name. It's from Australia. But when you're on this drug, many people will walk to the kitchen and start eating, not even realizing they're doing it. That is crazy. Now, if there was some sort of insomnia drug that would help you lose weight, I'd maybe be interested in that one. But I don't need help gaining weight. I gotta get that figured out.
I can do that on my own, yeah.
And while we're in Australia, a story here from a biotech company. They've invented an implant that gives you a perfect tan in 2 days. It's an implant.
I don't think I'd be messing around with that.
This is a tiny high-tech device that you put under your skin.
Oh.
And it stimulates the melanin production, which is the same kind of thing you have when a suntan. And it lasts 2 months.
I don't think I would mess around with that.
There was a movie back when we were younger than we are now. I can't remember what it was called, but there was a movie where there was a guy that used some sort of tanning drug to change the color of his skin to get a United Negro College Fund.
It's called Soul Man.
Is that what it was?
It was.
Oh, we should watch that.
It had C. Thomas Howell in it.
Yeah. See? You know.
Yeah, I know.
We didn't even prepare. She just knows this stuff. That was a good movie.
It was a great movie.
It was a very good movie.
Yeah, and Ray Don Chong was in it, too.
There you go.
Yeah.
Man. What year do you suppose that was from?
I would guess 84.
Oh, yeah. I thought maybe you'd know right off the top of your head. 1986. Director was so-and-so.
No.
The Best Boy was.
I don't know all that, but I'm guessing it was about 84.
Best music for the film credits. It was whatever. All right. Yeah, we'll have to rent that. That was a good movie. And, I don't know if I would be into this thing from Australia, a biotech company. They invented an implant that you can put under your skin to get the perfect tan in 2 days.
I would not mess with that. I would think there are some very serious side effects from something like that.
Last for 2 months. I think they should let other people try it for a while and see how it goes. And then, they're doing it in Australia right now. We'll see if that the whole country, all of a sudden, they just disappear
Australia
from
may
the
have some
planet.
serious depopulation going on.
All right, only one more story on our scoop of the day today. New Orleans prosecutors were too busy to see a bank vault manager who wanted to confess that he had stolen $900,000.
Whoa.
Yeah. Ricardo Antonio Pacheco had to wait a week to get an appointment with the U.S. Attorney's Office after he resigned. Police say nobody suspected a thing until he gave himself up. He apparently wanted to get this secret off his chest. His lawyer, Vinny Moscaca, says he really wanted... I don't know. I just make these names up. I'm not even close, I'm sure.
Who hires a lawyer named Vinny?
I would. Did you see the movie My Cousin Vinny?
This is what I'm talking about.
Bomb diggity. He did a great job. The two Utes. That's who I could just see this Vinny guy in court. My two Utes. Anyway, he said he really wanted to get this behind him. He wasn't able to get an appointment with the government because of some scheduling problem. So it took a week for him to confess. According to embezzlement charges, he had been stealing since 1991. The U.S. Attorney's Office and Bank One, his employer, did not comment on the case. I wouldn't want to comment either when this dude successfully robbed you of $900,000 since 1991. Nobody knew anything until he finally came forward and said...
But you know what? Good for him for doing the right thing and coming forward. I mean, he didn't have to. He'd gotten away with it, and he didn't work there anymore. So
it's like, it's been bugging me. I figured I should probably let you guys know. So good job, Ricardo. Thank you for doing that. This has been your Scoop of the Day. We got some ridiculousness on the way with Tuesdays with Charlie. It's coming your way here in a bit.
This portion of the program is brought to you by Dollar Shave Club.
I use their razors, and I absolutely love them. And if you would like to try some razors and get a little special discount and get me a little extra credit, check out dollarshaveclub.com/BigJohnSmall. I love their razors. I use them all the time.
I've tried to use them. He won't let me touch them.
Yeah, leave my razors alone. Get your own razors. They're dirt cheap. Go check them out. dollarshaveclub.com/BigJohnSmall, and you're going to absolutely love them.
Again, this portion of the program brought to you by the Dollar Shave Club.
You're listening to the John and Heidi Show podcast.
I've heard of them. They're famous. That's right, Mike. They are.
Thank you so much for listening on a Tuesday. Time right now for my favorite program that we do all week. We pick up the phone and we call my father-in-law for a little show we like to call Tuesdays with Charlie. How you doing, Charlie?
Yes, it is Tuesday.
And you are Charlie.
Boy, we got 2 out of 2.
We are doing good.
And you have a birthday this week.
Oh,
yeah. Oh, yes, I do.
Yes, you do.
Do you know how old you're going to be this year, Charlie?
103.
103.
Well, you want to get old, you forget all that stuff.
I know. That's the way it works. Well, what are we going to learn about today, Charlie?
Well, we got a little wisdom here, then I got some kind of technical, well, not technical medical stuff, but something like that. We'll go into that.
All right.
Okay, in November 2013, a Florida woman renewed her wedding vows with her husband.
Okay.
That was a Ferris wheel she had named Bruce,
She married a Ferris wheel?
and renewed her wedding vows.
What?
That's kind of weird.
Well, you know, she wanted a mate that would stay around.
I was going to say what goes around comes around.
There you go.
Wow.
Hey, okay, we'll stick with another woman here in Pensacola, Florida. She stopped traffic in August 2013 when she stood on the roadside asking for breast implant donations by carrying a sign that read, "Not homeless, need boobs."
I bet she got quite a bit of money, too. I bet people were donating to that cause.
I'm going to put a sign out there and put something on it, see what I can get. Might get run over.
Do you need boobs, Charlie?
Not boobs.
You can sign up for, you can need a breast reduction.
Something a little lower.
Oh, yeah. His butt cheeks, that's what he's talking about.
Okay, a technical name for using one's finger to pick boogers is rhyotolielsis.
Oh.
Really?
That's the technical
Why do we need
name.
a technical term for that particular thing?
Well, as opposed to using your toes,
Well, there you go.
which has no technical name but is one hell of a trick.
Yeah, if you can do that, you're doing something.
Hey, did you know that the average person picks his nose 5 times every hour?
5 times an
Whatever.
hour?
No way.
That can't be average.
That can't be.
Well, that means that some people must be picking their nose a lot.
Maybe the average kindergartner. I can't
Well-
imagine that that's accurate.
Hey, it says average person. It doesn't say age.
Making me, my nose itches now that you're saying that.
Did you know that 70% of people admit to picking their nose?
70% admit to it?
30% confess to eating the boogers.
Ew!
Oh.
Now, here's something that don't make sense. And then everyone else sticks them under the chair or on the bathroom wall.
On the
But this is-
bathroom.
On the bathroom wall.
I have seen that. That is disgusting.
Just so you know, John, we would get a divorce if you started doing that.
No, I've been in the men's room before, and I've seen them hanging on the wall. Who does that?
Gosh.
Somebody does, but I don't know. It said 70% and then 30%. Isn't that 100?
I think so.
That's disgusting.
That don't leave much of everyone else.
No. Doesn't leave a lot.
Somebody's math ain't right here.
Yeah.
I'm going to have to get on somebody's butt here. That ain't right. Speaking of boogers,
Yeah.
the color of your boogers can be a clue to your health. Green or yellow indicates illness.
Huh.
Black,
Means you're already dead.
no, that means you've been out in the dust or the dirt.
Yeah.
And if you get orange,
What?
that means you eat too many Cheetos.
Are you serious? And if they're bleeding, that means you have a bloody nose.
Which I probably have if you was here, you'd punch me in the nose.
That's disgusting.
Hey, you got a question for me?
I do. Oh, that was it? You're already done?
Yeah.
All right. I got to see if you...
Darn. As much as I was enjoying that booger talk.
You want to talk more about some boogers?
No, we're good. That's good.
Tell me it's not over. All right. Nomophobia. What does nomophobia mean, Charlie?
Nomophobia. It's fear of being normal.
No, it's the fear of being without your mobile phone.
Well, I don't have that.
Well, there you go. So you don't have that. They sent me a whole darn list of stuff here. I don't know if I was supposed to ask you one of these or all of these. So I guess I'm gonna ask you. I will just go through all of them. Interphobia.
Interphobia.
What do you think that's a fear of?
Going indoors.
No, the internet.
Oh, this must be all internet
No.
Oh, you can't say that. You can't use that word on the radio.
I think we're done now.
Oh, that'll do it.
How about we'll do one more? Dextrophobia. What is dextrophobia a fear of?
Dextrophobia. The fear of a guy named Dexter coming to your door.
No, that's a better answer than this. It's a fear of everything to the right of your body.
Whoa.
Fruitcakes have a fear of everything to the right side of their body.
Heidi's going to get a call because of that, I guarantee
Well,
you.
I'm sorry. That is so ridiculous. What could possibly be scary on the right side of your body?
Ooh, there's something over there right now. Ooh.
Well, you probably get more calls on the word I tried to use on there.
Yeah, I know. Well, luckily, I'm pretty quick on the trigger around here. Well, there's what do you call the fear of clowns, Charlie? Do you know what that is?
Fear of clowns? Clownorexia.
No,
I don't know.
What? I think that's a dinosaur, Clownosaurus. No, it's coulrophobia.
Yeah, this
It's one of the top 10 most common phobias. Are you afraid of clowns, Charlie?
Don't like them, but no, I'm not afraid of them.
I'm not afraid of them either.
Clowns are stupid.
And his name is Charlie for the rest of the calls. How about puppophobia? It's kind of related to the clown thing.
It'd be something with puppets.
Yeah, the fear of puppets. Did you get one right, Charlie?
Yes, I did.
Oh, my goodness.
I got 2 right.
You
or
did.
1.5.
You did really, really good. So the good news is, since we got this list right here from Andy's going to get some tickets to Boston, and I'm going to hook you up with as many of those as you want, Andy. We got about 50 of those tickets. We're giving them away every Friday here on the radio as well. So if you'd like to win, be sure to go to our Facebook page and follow the link. But we're going to hook Andy up because he sent the question. Now, if you'd like a question next week and you'd like me to see if we can stump the chump, make sure you send it to us here. Send it to sunny@sunnyradio.com and just put in the subject line, question for Charlie. Yeah?
It don't take much to fool me. Questions like, if you have a brown piece of paper in your hand, what color is it? I'm real easy.
Is it brown?
and we always give them something, right?
Yeah, we always hook them up with something. So
okay, that's worth something right there.
There you go. Well, we'll talk to you next week, Charlie.
Well, I'll be older, so I don't know if I'll be able to answer the phone.
Well, we hope you hear it ring and everything.
Okay.
All right.
Bye,
Bye-bye.
Daddy.
Bye, Fluff. Bye, John.
Bye-bye. My father-in-law right there. We talk to him every Tuesday, just because we can, with a little program we like to call Tuesdays with Charlie.
This portion of the program brought to you by BillionAuto.com. If you're looking to buy a car, they have a bunch of them. Maybe 1 billion. No guarantees on that. But I will guarantee you'll find a lot of cars at BillionAuto.com.
You're listening to the John and Heidi Show podcast.
Today is a special day, Heidi. You know what today is?
What is today, John?
Well, everybody knows. It's Cinco de Mayo.
Yeah, it is.
Cinco de Mayo.
Are we going to go celebrate tonight?
Well, we could celebrate right here. What do you want to do? In addition to Cinco de Mayo, it's Cartoonist Day. So it's a day to celebrate cartoonists. It's Childhood Depression Awareness Day. Childhood Stroke Awareness Day. Apparently these kids are having a rough day. Also International Midwives Day and National Teacher Day. I think this is a good day for National Teacher Day because there's a lot of teachers right now that this is, they got like 2 weeks left, a week left. They're going to be done. They can probably smell the summer. Also, Totally Chipotle Day and Revenge of the Fifth Day. Star Wars Sith, whatever, Revenge of the Sith.
I have no idea what you're talking about.
Yesterday was International Star Wars Day.
Sure.
May the 4th be with you. May 4th. Today is Revenge of the Fifth Day because they want to try to take their little nerdy day and make it into 2 days. They're like, let's keep...
I have no idea what you're talking about.
Let's party for 2 days instead of 1. Revenge of the Fifth. I have no idea. It is a true thing. I'm not making this up. So there you go. Some special days for you. And I just made all the Star Wars people mad. I know you don't all sound like this.
Some of them do.
Well, maybe.
I'm not a Star Wars fan.
I don't dislike it. I just never really got into it. I had a friend that did. He had every Star Wars toy that was ever made. And I remember when I was a kid, I was thinking, what a waste. Now that would pay off our house.
Probably. Does he still have it all?
I have no idea. I haven't talked to him since I was in 5th grade. So anyway, thank you so much for listening today. It is a Tuesday. You're tuned in to the John and Heidi Show.
This portion of the program is brought to you by Dollar Shave Club.
I use their razors, and I absolutely love them. And if you would like to try some razors and get a little special discount and get me a little extra credit, check out dollarshaveclub.com/BigJohnSmall. I love their razors. I use them all the time.
I've tried to use them. He won't let me touch them.
Yeah, leave my razors alone. Get your own razors. They're dirt cheap. Go check them out. dollarshaveclub.com/BigJohnSmall. And you're going to absolutely love them.
Again, this portion of the program brought to you by the Dollar Shave Club.
You're listening to the John and Heidi Show podcast.
I've heard of them. They're famous. That's right, Mike. They are.
This is an interesting story. And I'm going to just say, this is really cool of him for doing this. And I know there's going to be people out there, be some haters that are going to start hating. I might even be one of them. But when Christina Ellison married Joe Harkless, you'd expect her to become Christina Harkless, right?
Right.
Well, in a very rare occurrence, maybe the first of its kind, Joseph took his wife's last name.
That's happened.
But it wasn't hyphenated. He became Christina Ellison and Joseph Ellison. The couple made the name change to preserve her family's name. Her father was the last boy in the family. There were no other Ellisons to carry on the family name. Joseph said, I did it because I love her. The biggest problem was with the license and the Social Security Bureau. They were so confused, and they've never really handled anything like this before. The couple said a criminal investigation was conducted to make sure he was not changing his name to hide from the law.
Wow.
Because it is so unusual. They said, we've never had to do this before. What are you guys talking about? You want him to change his name. But think about this. In my wife's family, her grandfather, Grandpa McGowan, had 3 daughters. Mm-hmm. And there are no other McGowans because, so that we would have every year the McGowan Open, and all of the McGowans are gone.
Right.
In that line, I know there's other McGowans out there, but I mean from that particular family, because they had 3 beautiful daughters and no boys at all. And
they had 4.
4
daughters.
Well, they had that other one too. They did have 4.
Are you saying 3 of them were beautiful and then there was another one?
No. That's really not what I meant. If they're listening, they're all trying to figure out which one I'm talking about. Oh boy, I'm gonna just shut up. They had 3 girls, so that name did not go on. It did in spirit, but not in reality. So I think that was pretty cool of Joe to give up his last name to carry on the tradition. I'm going to put my foot in my mouth.
And it's nice he doesn't have to carry his own balls around anymore because they're in his wife's purse. So that works well, too.
Yeah. Thanks for listening to the John and Heidi Show. It is a Tuesday.
This segment of the program is brought to you by RVWheelator.com. If you want to buy an RV, check it out. And if you want to sell an RV, check it out. Helping connect buyers and sellers at RVWheelator.com.
You're listening to the John and Heidi Show podcast.
Could insulin be the solution for Alzheimer's?
I don't know.
Well, an insulin nasal spray has shown it can boost your memory and other mental functions for people with Alzheimer's. According to the report, patients in the early stages of the disease who used the spray saw as much as a 25% improvement on their tests of their mental manipulation and memory.
Nice.
Insulin, which became available for medical use 92 years ago this week, is essential for managing blood sugar in the body, but it also plays a key role in brain function, allowing receptors to process memory. The first study looked at about 60 patients over 21 days. The team is now looking for 250 patients from all across the country for longer trials in 29 centers all across the US of A. So we might have something that is going to at least help. That's really cool.
That is cool.
And, I think that there's a cure for everything out there. We just got to find it. And this could be one of the things. Again, insulin is maybe the solution for Alzheimer's. They're working on that. That is absolutely fascinating.
That is.
Coming up in a bit, I'm going to teach you some little tricks on how you can actually, if you want to remember things a little bit better, you don't have to be a brainiac to remember things. Men's Health has some tips here on how to remember things. And I hope to remember to get to that here in a bit.
Maybe need some insulin.
Can you remind me? All right, that's on the way on the John and Heidi Show on this Tuesday.
This portion of the program is brought to you by WinThisOnline.com. If you have stuff you'd like to give away, do it for free. Check out the website WinThisOnline.com. It's also free to win stuff. Register today for your free account at WinThisOnline.com.
You're listening to the John and Heidi Show podcast.
In Clay, New York, police were looking for the boyfriend of Roxanne Lawrence, so they went to her apartment. When they got there, they asked her about her boyfriend, Willard Franks. Roxanne says, never heard of the guy.
Oh, my gosh.
I don't know what you're talking about. And she got up to show the police to the door. As she was walking in front of them, one of the officers noticed a tattoo on the back of her neck that said, Willard. Never heard of him, huh? Got his name on your neck. So either
Willard Scott. She's a huge fan.
Huge fan of the weatherman. Yeah, that's what it is. Maybe that is the case. Or she was lying about knowing Willard Franks. Turns out the latter was true. She was arrested, and so was Willie shortly thereafter. So, yeah, that's probably not a good idea. And if you you knew you had the tattoo. Cover it up.
They
at
obviously
least.
knew that you knew him. So why would you try to say, I don't know him?
Who's this
They
guy?
wouldn't have been at your door if they didn't know you
Willard.
knew him.
Never heard of
It's
him.
ridiculous.
Yeah, that's probably not the best way to get out of things.
You could have said, I don't know where he is, but you don't say, I never heard of him.
Yeah. Yeah, that would have been a better option. Say, yeah, he owes me money too for this tattoo I got on my back here. Coming up in a bit, we're going to talk about how to memorize things and remember things and something like that. I didn't read the whole thing, so it's
Okay.
I hope it's good. It's from Men's Health. Okay. It's on the way.
This portion of the program brought to you by DirecTV. Sign up today at 1-800-259-7646. That's 1-800-259-7646.
You're listening to the John and Heidi Show podcast.
From Men's Health magazine, even brainiacs lose their keys. They just know how to jumpstart their memories, according to Scott Hagwood, who memorized the order of 9 decks of cards in an hour to become the first American Grandmaster of Memory. And he has some tips on recalling things.
All right.
Would you like to hear some?
Yes.
Long lists. Walk into a grocery store or a music store without a list, and chances are you're going to forget something, right? Mental lists can dissolve when you're faced with an abundance of similar choices. The Brain Booster, visualize each choice. The more unusual, the more easily it can be recalled, says Shane Bush, PhD, and neurologicalist. Is that a thing? Neuropsychologist. I don't know what he is.
Anyway.
Some dude. I forgot how to say it.
He does
apparently.
something complicated.
Yeah. He's from Long Island, New York. I could say those. It says, imagine Keira Knightley holding the milk in one hand and a loaf of bread in the other, wearing nothing but a miniskirt made out of your favorite cereal. I know that sounds bizarre, but it's very effective. So if you're trying to remember that you need milk and bread and cereal, you're supposed to remember, just imagine somebody put that picture in your mind so you have this mental image that's
But
so
now
bizarre.
on top of the 3 things, you got to remember a person, too.
Like, wait a minute, who was it again? Oh, it was
great.
Reese Witherspoon and bowl of cereal. I think she's some tomato soup. I have no idea. So there you go. That's one of the things they say will work. How about a date's details? So if you go out on a date, remember the little things. Her dog's name, her favorite color. She'll be eating out of your hand. But that laundry list of information is difficult to sort out, particularly when you're paying more attention to her lips. The Brain Booster says use the room technique. You'll be able to recall a tremendous amount of information quite quickly, says Hagwood. Pick a room that's familiar to you. As she's telling you about things in her life, imagine her doing them in parts of that room.
This is ridiculous.
If she likes running, picture her jogging in the corner. If she watches... if she...
This guy's a loon.
If she watches Gilmore Girls, imagine her watching it on your TV and so on.
Wow.
This is such a dumb thing.
This guy is a loon. I'm
from-
guessing he's still single.
This is from Men's Health magazine. Phone numbers. You want a surefire way to remember those?
Oh, yes.
Probably has something to do with a kazoo and a banjo, but we'll get to it. The phone numbers trick here says the brain's buffer can handle only so many numbers, so combine them into bigger units. This is from a different dude, from George W. Reebok, spelled differently than the shoe. He's a PhD and professor in the Department of Mental Health at Johns Hopkins University. The Brain Booster, find meaning in sections of the number. Phone numbers are already broken up, but re-chunk them to simplify. Like you need to simplify. It says here, look for 3- and 4-digit patterns and link them to years, area codes, or whatever, things that would maybe be a little easier for you. Like our new phone number for the radio station in Sioux City, 712-281-1980. So I just remembered it was 712-281-1980. Because I kept forgetting the 281 part. I was like, what is the middle part again? I knew the 712. I knew the 1980. But I was like, what's the middle part? So I remembered it that it was 712, and then there's another 2, 7122, 81, 1980. So it's like 1981, then 1980. So
Oh, my gosh.
is that dumb?
Yes.
And I just told everybody about that.
But if it helps you,
People,
I guess there you go.
and then here's my. We're gonna end on this. We should have ended 5 minutes ago. Introductions. It doesn't matter how good you are at remembering things, says Hagwood. Even the best experts can forget information if it's delivered too quickly. The Brain Booster here, the key is to control the flow of information. As you're being introduced, pause at the third person. Make a comment on his or her name, their outfit, or resemblance to some celebrity. Others, as they're responding, mentally will review the names of the first two people you just met. Repeat with every third person you meet. So as you're meeting people, this is John, this is Charlie, this is Frank. Hi, Frank. Frank, you look a lot like
Frank Stallone.
Cloris Leachman, which I know she's a female, but you look like her.
You know, I don't remember anybody's names. I don't care if I'm only introduced to one person. I don't remember that person's name. So
you don't remember who people are. We'll
No.
walk away. She's like, "Who's that?" I'm like, "That's your cousin. Are you kidding me?" You didn't know
It
that?
is about that bad. It's pretty awful.
It is terrible because she's got, I think it's face blindness is a true thing. I think you have a slight case
Why
of
don't you
that.
tell me who they are? I'm like, oh yeah.
Oh, I knew that.
I like that guy.
Yeah, he's awesome.
That just happened.
Can we go
the
back
other
and talk to him
night.
again? I'm like, no. We talked for 10 minutes. You didn't know who he was. You lose your opportunity to chat with that guy now.
Yeah. So if that's ever happened, if you've ever been talking to me and I'm not overly friendly like I usually am,
Because she has no
because
clue.
I don't know. Who you are.
Just tell her who you are. I'm like, hi, Heidi. I'm your mother. Just wanted to say hello. Make sure you get that out of the way right away. All right. You've been listening to the John and Heidi Show. That last bit of info there, that 3 minutes of nothingness, was from Men's Health Magazine. I hope I remember to cancel my subscription soon.
This portion of the program brought to you by BillionAuto.com. If you're looking to buy a car, they have a bunch of them. Maybe a billion. No guarantees on that. But I will guarantee you'll find a lot of cars at BillionAuto.com.
You're listening to the John and Heidi Show podcast.
Most people have jobs that require them to go into the work and sit behind a desk and do paperwork all day, right?
Right.
A lot of people do that. Fun. Most of us would never, ever consider cleaning bathrooms for a living unless it was the last option. No offense to people that do that. But we appreciate the work you do. Trust me. Most of us just don't like that idea. You might want to reconsider it, though, Heidi. Listen to this. First of all, would you want a job cleaning toilets and stuff all day long?
I wouldn't say I'm above it. No.
Not at all. Turns out working over a commode in a restroom is actually probably healthier than what you're doing right now, sitting at your desk.
Probably. Because you're moving and you're getting exercise. And
According to a study of microbiologists from the University of Arizona, the average desk is covered with 400 times more bacteria than the average toilet bowl. 400 times! Backing up from this thing. Study shows office toilets actually have the lowest level of germs out of all the surfaces tested. So the toilet was the cleanest thing in the office. Don't think you'll be able to get away from those germs by stepping away from your desk. That's what I just did, too. Because you're going to have to answer the phone or make a call sometime, and that's the most disgusting part of your workspace. When it comes to bacteria and germs, telephones and computers are awful. Your desktop, your water fountain handle, your microwave, your door handles, and your computer keyboard. I'm not answering that. I'm not. All right. Thanks for listening. You're tuned in to the John and Heidi Show. Oh, I forgot to say, it's time to say goodbye, Heidi.
goodbye, Heidi.
Goodbye, everybody. Have a great day. We'll talk to you again tomorrow. And if you want to hear our bonus break, you have to check out the podcast. Go check it out at facebook.com/John and Heidi Show. All right, those radio people are gone now. So now we can have some real fun. I've got the bonus break for you here. A couple different things. First of all, 4 words are causing an uproar at the Shreveport Middle School. What do you think they are, Heidi?
In God we trust.
Did you read this online already?
No.
Wow, you are good. Parents and students are planning to take a stand in effort to keep In God We Trust on the school's marquee. It's been posted there for 15 years before its removal earlier this year. In March, Principal Albert Hardison was accused of violating the First Amendment through his religious references. The school removed the reference, but that didn't end the discussion. Recently, Fellowship of Christian Athlete students passed out 500 shirts on campus as part of their I Stand campaign against the removal of the phrase. So they're saying, hey, we want it back. Put
Good
it
for
back.
them.
And here's the thing I don't understand. That's not them endorsing a religion. That is a group of people who they all believe the same thing. That doesn't mean that you have to believe that to go to school there.
Right.
And if you think about this, if you are that sensitive, how do you get along in society?
Exactly.
Every coin says In God We Trust. Every bill says In God We Trust. And I know there are people that are trying to get that taken off of there. Here's the easiest answer. If you don't like it, go to another country.
Exactly.
Move somewhere else where they don't believe in God.
Right.
And I know what you're thinking. Well, those countries suck. Yeah, maybe there's a reason. This is the greatest nation on God's green earth for a very simple reason. This country was founded on the principles of having religious freedoms. I have those too. So do you. That doesn't mean that we're forcing you to believe in our religion, just like we're not asking you to force us to believe in yours. So there you go. I'll climb off my soapbox now.
Yeah.
Because I got a story about Redbox. This is an awesome story. Now, I'm going to go out on a limb here and say I'm not a fan of Redbox. Remember when we lived in Sioux Falls?
I'm not either. There's not a very good selection in them.
And for me, it's just not personal at all. It's a machine. You're sticking money in a machine and it's spitting out a movie. I don't like that. But here is something, for those of you who do like that, here's a cool idea. Some users of Redbox have found a really neat way to make somebody's day. And when they're putting their movies back in, you have to submit the thing and you stick it back in the machine.
Right.
They're sticking a couple of dollars in the case with the video when they return their rented movie with a little note for the next person saying, snacks are on us tonight.
Oh, how nice is that?
So just kind of passing on a nice little thing. You get the Redbox and you get out a video and boom, there's $2 in there. Hey, snacks are on us.
That's nice.
How neat is that?
That's very neat.
I don't know who thought that up, but it's a great idea.
It is.
And I hope that the people at Redbox don't crack down on it and say you can't do that, because it is a neat thing. But
why would they say you can't do that?
I don't know, because then
maybe people then are trying to break into the machines.
Well, but if the DVDs are worth more than a couple of bucks anyway.
Yeah.
But and there's probably more money stuffed in there. Can you put money in, or do you? I think you use a card. I always used a card.
I don't think you can put money. I think it's a card.
So,
because if you don't return the movie, then they charge your card for the movie.
Yeah. So the concern then would be, if people can stick money in there, well, why not stick other things in there? So now all of a sudden I go and rent.
What?
I'm just saying. Well, I'm saying if you go and rent a movie, and when you get the movie, in with your movie, there's like an advertisement for something. There could be people who would say, why am I getting these things now from Redbox? So
that's actually a good idea.
There could be a coupon for a pizza place. So I open up my Redbox, and in addition to my Redbox, there's a little thing stuffed in there from a local businessman.
You know what? That's not a bad idea. If
I'm just saying.
That's really not a bad idea.
I wonder if they will crack down and say, we can track.
How would they know, though?
They can track. You log in. When you put that movie back in the case, it knows who put it there.
Right, but how would they know if you had anything in there or not? Only if somebody complained.
And that's where I'm saying.
Yeah.
And I don't know that anyone's going to complain that there's money in there, but
no.
I just wonder if they're going to put some rules saying you can't put stuff in the cases, because I could see that coming down. Anyway, now it is definitely time to say goodbye. How do we end our podcast?
I don't know.
What have we been doing?
We've just been, I don't know, just ending.
I have a great idea. I know how to end it. Doesn't